just found the worst musical you've never heard of, and that last part is for good reason. After watching this film, I don't ever want to hear someone say old films didn't have any messaging in them again. I knew I was getting into something quite fun when I read the synopsis on the back of the cover, which is as follows.
Things are different for the Pontipee men now that Big Brother Adams fetched a bride and brought her to the cabin.
Reed tricked a woman into becoming a practical slave for 7 men.
The biscuits are fresh, the cabin's spotless, and there's a heap of new learning about how to be fine gentlemen.
Spoilers, they don't.
The unmarried brothers are so inspired, they raid the town and carry off brides of their own.
Reed kidnap a bunch of innocent women and drag them off while their families desperately try to save them.
And yada 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 yada, blah 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 blah.
So, grab some hot chocolate and let's talk about 7 brides for 7 brothers. So the story opens with this guy who's looking for a wife and is very adamant that he finds her within 24 hours. And I don't know about you, but that's raising all kinds of red flags.
Well, that's a fine thing, I must say. Thinking you could come here and trade for a wife like she was a bag of meal.
At least everyone else around here also holds him in complete contempt.
You're all pretty and fresh and young. Keep you in mind. But I ain't deciding on nothing until I look them all over.
Away with him, away with him.
How about marrying me? You gonna keep me waiting all that 5 months just for your pride?
Excuse me? You literally want her to be a slave for 7 probably very unruly men. And you're gaslighting her by saying it's her pride that she doesn't want to say yes. And then for some reason, she actually says yes. Does she have like a father or a mother who can talk some sense into her? There's gotta be someone.
I don't like this marriage. I don't know you or anything about you.
Oh yes, thank you. A reasonable...
But Reverend, ever since I came here, you've been after me to marry. Girl had no right to stay single, you said. The country needed to be settled.
Well, okay, never mind. Anyway, so they get married and she's singing about how awesome being married is. And the whole time I was just sitting there thinking, oh, sweetheart. Oh, you're in for the rudest awakening. Oh my. And also, why is he not telling her about his 6 brothers as she's sitting here talking about how nice it'll be to just have one person around? Oh, wait, I know, because then she wouldn't have married him. Duh. And guess what? When she gets there, the stupidity of her decision finally starts to dawn on her. She not only married a douchebag, but she married a lying douchebag.
Make a fool of myself talking about you and me. You should have stopped me.
Maybe I should have. I'd have told you beforehand you might not have married me.
Oh, you think? Sir?
I'll work alongside you, Adam, but I'm not sleeping alongside you.
Retreat to the loser lane where you belong.
Somehow it just don't seem fitting for a bridegroom to spend his wedding night in a tree.
It's your idea, not mine.
Oh, heck no. Heck no. Do not gaslight her, Carrot Top. She said nothing about a tree. You made that part up all by yourself. I see he's following the trend he started in the beginning of the film, which, incidentally, is also something he'll continue to do for the entirety of the film. And his brothers aren't any better. They freaking freak me out.
Hot bread. It's Millie cooking.
Like, excuse me, what even was that line delivery? I'm telling you, this film is the first horror movie I've ever seen. Replace almost any music in these scenes and you got yourself a horror film. Anyway, so Millie decides that since she's stuck here, she might as well try and turn these freaks into something that resembles a human. And it becomes her mission to prepare them for a barn raising so they can find girlfriends by treating women like human beings? Which she does with a moderate success before a brawl breaks out at the event. Okay, I'll be fair, they were being nice mostly at that. Except they got into like a dancing duel with the other guys there, but they weren't being like rude to the women, so she did it with success, I guess, for this event specifically, not in the future. But anyway, as I was saying, this dancing duel turns into a full-on brawl between these guys in the suits, and I have no idea why they're wearing suits since this is an event of manual labor. But anyway, but they have it out for the brothers because they don't want them to steal their girlfriends. And the barn collapses and then they all go home and Millie yells at them. Just before Adam sings a song about what being in love is about. Oh, what would you know about that, Adam, Mr. I'm looking for a slave. Anyway, so everyone is lovesick for random women who they talk to once. I mean, I guess this is a musical, but it's still stupid. But anyway, Millie, for some reason, is against the second oldest leaving so he can build his own life elsewhere. Honestly, I think Adam is rubbing off on her too much. So Adam then decides it's a brilliant idea to kidnap everyone. Yes, I'm not kidding. They are literally singing a happy song about sobbing women. Are those freaking sax? How is our music not being played right now? Save everyone, random town dudes.
All right, let him go.
These people are evil. Not only do they kidnap a bunch of innocent women, they also want to murder their families who are trying to save them by dropping an avalanche on them. I repeat, an avalanche on them.
What kind of man are you anyway? Who's carrying our poor innocent?
At least Millie has a scrap of morals still in existence because nobody else around here does. And then that little Adam Wadum pouts in the barn because how dare Millie actually have morals. And then this stupid movie has the nerve to pull out the girls actually like them, so there's no consequences to their actions trope. I absolutely despise when old movies do this. It's like, guy's man's a douchebag and is creepy or whatever, but it's okay because the woman actually likes him. Like, no, on so many levels.
No.
See Blade Runner for an extra especially bad example of this. Anyway, so Millie has a baby, and they tell Adam, who, by the way, went off to pout in the middle of the mountains, away from everybody, because how dare Millie say that he shouldn't go and kidnap people. And guess what this wonderful person has to say about birth of his own daughter?
I might have known she'd have a girl.
That's right, another extra scoop of sexism, everyone. Yay. But anyway, apparently Adam finds one morsel of regret, and he finally comes to the realization that maybe kidnapping a bunch of women and forcing them into marriage to a bunch of strangers wasn't the best idea he ever had. So he's going to take them all back home. But before he can, the cavalry show up, aka the townspeople, aka the true heroes of this film. But of course they're painted as the villain, even though the real psychopath is this band of kidnapping psychotic brothers. Then because every single one of these women is suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, they all get married, which is played off as a good thing, but in reality these women would be so scared by this experience they probably would never actually be able to trust their new husbands at all. This movie had some of the worst messaging from older film that I have ever seen. Thus far only topped by Paint Your Wagons, coincidentally another horrific musical, which, and I'm not kidding, has a bunch of maniacs from a gold mining town kidnap a bunch of innocent women to turn them into painted ladies, shall we say. And the quote-unquote good guys all think this is a grand old idea. So I would definitely not advise watching this movie. Actually, yes. Yes, I would. Just for the sole purpose of proving to people that there always was bad messaging pushed through films. And the only difference now is that the agendas have changed, which is what really bugs me. I don't know why people just can't make a movie that's not overtly insulting to any particular group of people. Like, why is that so hard? Can't we just write compelling characters with interesting dilemmas and story arcs and stories and all that good stuff, no matter their gender or race or whatever? And it's even worse when people say, movies never used to do this. It's like, actually, yes, they did. They just had different agendas. So I don't know what you're watching, but all time periods have agendas being pushed in them. Not every single movie and every single time period does, but there are old movies that do, there are new movies that do. Like, that's just all the time. And if you actually watch movies, you'll notice that. Which, I guess, I don't know, these people who complain about that, I guess they don't watch very many movies. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my comics on Tapas and Patreon. And have an awesome rest of your day.